Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are tackling a question that's right at the heart of, well, basically every deal ever made. When a contract gets broken, what is the law actually trying to do? Now, you might think the answer is obvious, but trust me, it's way more specific and, frankly, more interesting than you'd expect. So, let's get into it. Okay, let's paint a picture. Imagine you've been planning this huge corporate event for months. You hired a caterer, you signed a contract, 5-course meal, 200 people, the works. Then, the day before, they call. They've canceled. Just like that. No food, you're in total chaos. Your promise to your guests is shattered because the caterer broke their promise to you. So, in the eyes of the law, what does making it right actually mean? You know, your first reaction, your gut reaction, is probably they have to pay for everything, for all of this mess. And hey, that's a totally natural response. But the law has a very, very specific goal here, and a lot of what we think it is actually a myth. So today, we're going to bust some of those common myths and get to the real truth behind contract damages. All right, Section 1, a deal gone wrong. The scene is set. A deal has tanked, a promise has been broken. The big question is, what should the legal system's main goal be when it's time to award damages? So before I just give you the answer, let's look at a few of the most common and honestly pretty logical ideas about what justice should look like here. Think of these as popular theories that we're about to put under the microscope and see if they hold up. First up, myth number 1. Is it about a blank check? This is the idea that the person who messed up should just have to pay for every single loss the innocent party suffered, no questions asked. Basically, a financial blank check to fix everything. And this feels right, doesn't it? I mean, if someone's mistake costs you money, they should cover it. All of it. From the ridiculous price of a last-minute replacement caterer to maybe even the damage to your company's reputation. It just feels like the most intuitive, fair place to start. But here's where it gets interesting. The law does not issue a blank check. It's much more surgical than that. See, the goal isn't to just reimburse every single loss you can think of, because that could get wild and unpredictable really fast. Instead, the law is aiming for a very specific, carefully calculated result. So, this first popular theory, it's a myth. Okay, so if it's not a blank check, what about the emotional side of things? You know that feeling that the person who broke the promise, well, they should be punished, or that you should get some kind of legal revenge, right? This theory is all about making the party who broke the contract hurt. You know, fine them, penalize them so badly that they, and anybody else watching, will think twice before ever breaking a promise again. It's about sending a message loud and clear. And this right here is maybe the most important distinction to understand. Contract law is not criminal law. Its main job isn't punishment or revenge. The entire focus is on the innocent party. The whole point is to lift them up, not to tear the other party down. It's about help, not harm. All right, so we've debunked 2 huge myths. It's not about a blank check to cover every cost imaginable, and it's definitely not about punishment. So, what's left? What is this powerful, elegant principle that has guided contract law for literally centuries? And here it is. The answer, in one word, is compensation. But wait, it's a very specific kind of compensation with a crystal clear goal. This is the big idea we're here to unpack. This one sentence, this is everything. This is the absolute cornerstone of contract damages. Let's just read it again and let it sink in. To compensate the innocent party and put them in the position they would have been in had the contract been properly performed. Notice it's not about turning back the clock and pretending the mistake never happened. No, it's about building a financial bridge to the future that was promised to you. Let's really zero in on this amazing phrase. It is not backward-looking, it's not focused on what you lost, it is forward-looking. It's asking, what would your financial situation look like right now if that promise had been kept? That little shift in perspective, it's the key to understanding the whole thing. So how does this actually work in practice? Let's go back to our caterer. Okay, step 1, you were promised a massive meal for, let's say, $20,000. That was the promised world. Step 2, what really happened? You got no food and had to scramble to hire a new caterer that cost you $35,000. Okay, step 3, the damages are meant to bridge that gap. You were already going to spend that first $20,000, right? But the extra $15,000 you had to pay, that is the damage. The law gives you that $15,000 to put you in the exact financial position you would have been in. So who cares? Why is this principle so important? Why not just punish people? Well, because this idea of compensation is the bedrock of a stable, predictable economy. It lets businesses actually calculate their risks. It also leads to this really interesting economic idea that sometimes it's actually more efficient for a contract to be broken, as long as the innocent party is made whole. If our caterer gets a last-minute chance to cater a royal wedding for 10 times the money, it might be better for the economy for them to take it, pay your damages, and still come out ahead. The system is designed to protect the value of the promise, not necessarily to force the action itself. So let's wrap this up with the key takeaways. First, and most importantly, contract damages are all about compensation, not punishment. Second, the goal is to give you the value of the promise, not to give you a lottery win. And finally, always remember it's a forward-looking fix. It's about building the financial future you were supposed to have. These three ideas are what let the entire world of business run on trust. And that brings us to a final thought to chew on. This whole principle, it doesn't treat a broken contract like a crime. It treats it like an unfulfilled promise, which suggests that the law sees our agreements not just as these rigid rules to be punished if broken, but as commitments whose value has to be honored, one way or another. It's a really powerful statement about the true weight of our words. Thanks for joining me for this explain.